Hi everyone, Josiah here to talk about our integration with ProSelect. First off, I want to thank our friends at ProSelect for making this integration possible. Together, we've been able to provide what we think is the most tightly integrated solution for business management and digital workflow. For those of you who haven't used our ProSelect integration, here's a quick overview of what it can do. First, the client and session records are recorded in Spectra or Stratus at the time of booking. Optionally, on the day of the shoot, we'll give you a tremendously easy way to import the images off the camera card, apply automatic image correction and skin smoothing, create an instant archive of the images for backup, and finally, catalog the images in an orderly fashion of this customer. On the day of the sale, you'll use ProSelect to present the improved images and take the client's order. When done, you'll import the order into Spectra or Stratus, where an invoice will be created. You can now print the invoice, image detail sheet, and view the images direct from our software. Even months or years down the road, you'll still be able to open this client's record and view their images. So why should you use a software like Spectra or Stratus in addition to using ProSelect? There are a couple major reasons why you should bring the order and images back into our software after using ProSelect. The first is historical records. Once the orders are in our database, you can use our powerful reporting tools to accurately track your orders. Our software can process the credit card payments and generate sales tax reports. You can open up any past client or session and see all the past orders that a client had, including preview files of the images they ordered. This allows you to see the templates, crops, colorizations, etc. that a customer had ordered in the years past, giving you ammunition for future sales presentations. Also, with our software, you can bring multiple ProSelect orders into one session. Our software also has a very powerful and easy to use production tracking system to help track and automate the fulfillment of those orders. If you work with seniors, we have a great yearbook tracking system to help with your workflow. Our Lightroom and Photoshop integrations help you very quickly retouch ordered images. And not only that, but our Perfectly Clear integration is a great image correction tool that even includes skin smoothing. Now let's take a look a little bit more in depth at how to set up and use this integration. Setting up the ProSelect integration is really simple. First, you need to set up a couple things in ProSelect. The first setting you can get to by going to Edit, Preferences, then the Pricing and Ordering tab. On here, you need to make sure that this checkbox is checked to show product codes on price list items. Then, make sure to click Save when you're done. Next, we need to set up our price list. We can get there by going to Orders, Price List Setup. Now in the price list setup, you should notice a new column for product codes. That is because we just checked that checkbox to show product codes on the price list items. And this field is very important for the integration. So, by modifying your different items, you should set this product code field to be the same as the item identifier field in Spectra or Stratus. Okay? So a good way you can do this is let me pull up our price list maintenance in Spectra. And let me put it side by side with our price list maintenance here in ProSelect. So looking at this 8x10 item, I find the exact same item in Spectra or Stratus. Then I take that item identifier field and I can copy that into the product code field here. And if they are the same, then those two items will match up if you ever order it. And if you have dual monitors, this is actually even easier because you can have the price list from ProSelect open on one screen and the price list open from Spectra or Stratus on the other. Otherwise, you can just drag the two screens side by side like I did. Okay? And then once you have all your prices set up and your product codes set up for your items, go ahead and click Save. Next, we can set up our payment methods. This will allow us to import your payment records from ProSelect as well as your invoices. To do this, go back to Orders and then Payment Setup. And this is actually a lot simpler. All you need to do here is make sure that the description field is the same as the description field in Spectra. And if they are the same, any payments that you record in ProSelect will be imported into Spectra as well. And looking in Spectra, you can go to Maintenance, Invoice, Payment Methods, and then here is the description field that you need to make sure is the same as in ProSelect. And once you have that all situated, go ahead and close out of that form. Then, someplace on this workstation, you will need to create a ProSelect export folder. So I'm going to go ahead and put mine on the C drive. By right-clicking and clicking New, I can add in a new folder. And let's call it my ProSelect export. And then make sure to remember where you put it. We're going to need it later. Okay, once that's done, let's go ahead and set up the Spectra or Stratus side of the integration. The first setting that we need to set up is in our Studio Preferences. So Maintenance, Preferences, Studio Preferences. And then the Integration tab. All you need to do is just check the ProSelect integration box and click OK. Next, we need to tell Spectra where we put that export folder. So go to Maintenance, Preferences, Workstation Preferences. Then, right here on the Integration tab, is the ProSelect XML folder. So simply browse out to that folder I just created. And then click OK. And that's all there is to set it up. It's that simple. Now let's go ahead and cover how we can actually use this integration. So let's walk through how to actually use the integration. This first part is optional, but I'm going to show it to you because it is a powerful feature that you have access to. Since Spectra is a full digital workflow solution, we have tools in our software that can save you a lot of time and effort. First, import the images into our software using our handy import tool. This import tool can import from multiple memory cards. It can organize your images by high-res or raw. It can rename your images. We can create low-res JPEG preview files that can include auto-cropping and automatic image corrections. We can also archive your images to a separate CD or to a separate hard drive. And we can even include some image metadata. It's a very handy and very easy thing to use. It will even remember my past settings for an even quicker import next time. Once the images are in the software, you can use our Perfectly Clear integration to auto-correct your images. For more information on Perfectly Clear and why it's so powerful, check out the Perfectly Clear demo video. And once you have your images in here, you can use the 1, 2, and 3 hotkeys to easily sort and rate your different images. This is a great idea before a sales presentation to go through and take out the bad images that you don't want to have in there. So, for example, I can go through here, click on any image, and quickly hit the number 3 key to remove that from the list. Going through here, I can do that very quickly. Okay, then once you have your images selected and modified to what you need to be, you can then use our render tool to easily create new image files with all your changes that you just made. You can do this by going up to Render Proofs and then simply choose the render profile. But just for your understanding, let's go and take a look at this profile so you can see what we can do. And for your render profile, this is what I recommend. I recommend you leave the render profile type at proofing copies of selected images. You want to rebuild the images from the high-res retouched files. You're going to want to include images with the rating of selected and undecided. This is important because it'll get rid of all those red images that you selected. Then you're going to want to flip and rotate the images, apply image colorizations, apply image adjustments, and crop images using the display crop. The display crop will use whatever crop that you had used back in the digital workflow, which means that each image can have a different crop. Then, for image options, we recommend that you keep the maximum size around 3500 and the DPI around 250. This will make sure that you have a high-res image file that you can import into ProSelect. Then, choose the Session Render folder for where you want to render the images out to, and create a subfolder and call it ProSelect. And then when you're finished, click OK to save your new render profile. Then, whenever you come back into this page, simply select your profile and click Start Rendering. These files can then be imported into ProSelect so you can continue on with your sales presentation. Okay, then using the same path that you have here, or down here, using ProSelect, browse out and find those images. Then, within the rendered folder, you should now see a ProSelect with all your images. And there you go. Now all your images are ready in ProSelect to do a great sales presentation. At this point, you would proceed to go through a normal presentation just like you normally would, and ordering just like you normally would. And let me do that quickly here. Alright, there we go. I've ordered an 8x10, 11x14, and a 16x20, just as a quick test. So now what we need to do is we need to export this order and import it into Stratus or Spectra. To do this, go to Orders, Export Orders, and then make sure that you have Standard XML from the Export To folder. Then click the magnifying glass at the bottom, and then go ahead and browse out to your ProSelect Exports folder. Keep in mind that you should only need to make this selection once. ProSelect will remember the selection for future exports. And then select the order that you want to export, and click Export Now. Then once you have your order, or multiple orders, exported, let's bring them into the Stratus software. You can do an Alt-Tab to quickly switch to the Stratus software. That shortcut should help speed up the switch. Then once back in the software, open the client session record, and this can be easily done by double-clicking on the record here, clicking on View Session here, or going to the calendar record and double-clicking on the session on the calendar. The calendar method is probably the easiest because you should already have a session booked for that sales presentation for today. Then once you're in the session record, go to File, Import ProSelect Order. And there should be your ProSelect order that you just exported. So simply click on it and click Import. If there was multiple orders in that list, you could highlight multiple orders and click OK to import them all. And that's it. Now we can open up the invoice record in our software. We can view the order, including the image files. So if we're looking at a past order, we can actually see the images that were ordered for it. Then we can print off the invoice, which looks like this. Or we can print off the image detail sheet, which looks like this. And then we can send the order into production, tracking the fulfillment of that order. We can record payments. We can record a payment plan. We can apply a customer deposit. Once the order is in the software, there's lots of different things that we can do to help streamline your workflow. Hopefully, you'll find this integration helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to contact tech support. They're more than willing to help. And before we close, I'm going to say one more thing, and then we're going to do a quick run through so you can see how fast and easy the integration can be when I'm not stopping to teach where everything is. So some of you may have noticed that our software already has a built-in sales presentation module. So you may ask, which one should you use? Both Spectra and Stratus Desktop include sales presentation capabilities, which was first introduced in 2003. Both of these provide you with a single software solution. However, we realize that many clients use ProSelect for their sales presentations and aren't ready to make a change. That's fine with us. Use whichever solution that's right for your business. Our goal is simply to provide the best tools to help you build a successful business. And with that in mind, let's go ahead and run through a quick, concise run-through of the integration. First, I'm going to import the images into our software. All my settings did save, so I just click Import. Now I can use Photoshop, Lightroom, make changes to these images. I can also use Perfectly Clear. To make our images look a little bit better. I can go through and use the 1 through 3 hotkeys to quickly sort my images. Using 3, I can take out the images I don't like. Then render out the images so I can use them in ProSelect. Choose my ProSelect render profile and click Start Rendering. Then switch over to ProSelect to import the images. Album, add folder of images. Browse out to that ProSelect folder. Rendered folder, and inside there should be the ProSelect folder. Then I can place an order just like I normally would. Then when I'm finished, go ahead and export that order out. Make sure it's standard XML. Make sure your order is selected, and then go ahead and click Export Now. Alt-Tab to switch over to the other software. Find that session record. File, Import ProSelect Order. Choose it out of the list and click Import. And there you go. That's all there is to it. That order is now in the Spectra Stratus software for use for whatever I need to get done. Hopefully you enjoy the integration. Thanks for watching, and as always, feel free to contact us with any questions.